Hey, this is Ralph, and in this video I want to play around with a car payment calculator, but looking at bi-weekly payments. So I just got this question from a viewer asking, hey, what happens if you're paying bi-weekly? We can calculate that, but there could be a couple little caveats to keep in mind. So what I have already is a standard car payment calculator, price down payment, 4.9% interest over 60 months. Our calculated payment is $452. Notice I'm not displaying the cents, but yeah, this would not be exactly $452, $451.81. And the total paid and the cost of financing, because we're financing this car over 5 years at 4.9%, we have to pay more than just obviously the cash price, so we're paying extra there. Now, what if we're doing this bi-weekly? Let's check this out real quick. Let's see, I'm going to go ahead and take this calculator, which is already working like a charm, and I'm going to paste it right over here. Let me take those column widths, select those, paste special, and let's just paste column widths over. So now we've got an extra calculator, and let's do our bi-weekly calculator. Okay, now a few things are going to change on here. We're going to assume, though, that the price of the car is the same, down payment, loan amount, 4.9%, things like that. However, we don't want number of months. We're going to end up changing this to bi-weekly periods. How many bi-weekly periods are there, basically in 60 months? And of course, we won't have a monthly payment. We're going to have a bi-weekly payment. All right, so let's see what we can do here. So for bi-weekly periods, let's look at this particular cell. And I'm going to change it a bit, equals. First, I need to know how many years 60 months is. I know we can do the math in our head, but let's not do the math in our head when we have Excel doing calculations for us. So I'm going to take the original number of months over here, and I'm going to divide that by 12. That's going to give me the number of years. Now I need to figure out how many bi-weekly periods are in 5 years. Basically, we need to know how many 2-week periods there are within a year. So I'm going to multiply that 5 years by 52, which is 52 weeks in a year, divided by 2, which is going to be the number of bi-weekly periods in a year. So I'm taking 5 years and multiplying it by the number of 2-week periods per year. And that's going to result in 130 2-week periods over 60 months. Remember, it's not exactly 4 weeks per month, so it's not exactly 2-week periods per month. Now, our biweekly payment calculation is going to have to change a little bit too. So where I'm taking E5 divided by 12, which is our annual interest rate, divided by 12 to get a monthly interest rate, I need to take that annual interest rate and divide it by the number of 2-week periods in a year. So again, this is going to be 52 divided by 2. Okay, and since this is already based off number of biweekly periods, that should be okay. Cool. All right. So now we've got a more updated and accurate biweekly payment calculator. So if we were doing biweekly payments, then there would be 130 2-week periods throughout that time span, and we would be paying $208 every 2 weeks. You'll notice that our total paid is a little bit less than if we did monthly, and our finance cost therefore is a little bit less. So that's actually going to be accurate. Now here's where the catch is. It's pretty unusual, I think, for a car loan to be expressed in bi-weekly periods. So although you might choose to pay every 2 weeks for your loan is probably still going to be expressed in monthly terms. So you can do this, but you would have to be careful, because what if there is a month time span when you only make 2 payments? Well, you still need to make sure that your 2 payments exceeds the calculated monthly payment, or else you're going to be behind, for that month. The bank or the car loan company is not going to care that some months you might make 3 payments versus other months you might only make 2 payments. So you'd have to be careful about something like that, and we would want to be cautious if we calculated this. Now, what you might think to yourself is, okay, well, that's cool. However, I know that not only am I going to be paying this bi-weekly payment, I'm also going to be paying this loan off sooner. Well, then instead of maybe 130 payments, maybe instead I'm going to pay this off in fewer bi-weekly payments. So maybe instead of 5 years, I'm going to change this B6 to 48, which would be 4 years, which means there's going to be 104 2-week periods, and my calculated payment is going to be $254 per month. Now, this is going to be pretty good because even in months where you're only making 2 payments, your $254 is still going to exceed the original monthly payment that was calculated by the loan, which means you're not going to be in default or anything like that. Plus, you're going to be paying this loan off sooner. Notice your total paid is now significantly less, almost $1,000 less, and your finance cost is therefore significantly less. So all of that said is you really want to say, okay, what is my calculated monthly payment, and then what am I going to be paying extra? Probably the more detailed way to look at this would be to amortize this loan out, kind of like we would be doing a mortgage. Look at our monthly payment, and then look what happens if we make extra payments every month. So let's tackle that issue.